I recognize a member from Ramsey, Representative Feist.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I may cry the whole time, or maybe not at all. We'll see. I've always thought about my retirement speech, like ever since I was first elected, and I think it would be a really good exercise. Somebody said sharpening the saw. I think it was Rep. Bateberg. I'm also obsessed with the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and he talks about beginning with the end in mind as the first habit, and he talks about picturing your funeral and thinking about the legacy that you want to lead and the type of person that you want people to remember you as. And so I just encourage everyone who's staying to write your retirement speech too, because I've heard a lot of values that I share and that inspire me, and I think we should all just try to remember that that's who we want to be when we show up in this place. So with that, I don't know if my speech is going to live up to that, but I've written the top 5 things that I won't miss and the top 5 things that I will miss. So we'll start with the top 5 things that I won't miss so we can end on a high note. I will not miss the internet. I won't miss men calling me honey who don't know me. I won't miss going viral. That sucks. So I'm not going to miss, I was almost off of Facebook, and then I ran for office in a pandemic, and I was like, I guess I'm back on Facebook. Anyway, I'll probably stay on because I want to stay connected to you guys. I won't miss blazers. I hate blazers. I hate them. So I'm like a hoodie person, and this place makes me dress up, and that's not cool. So next time you see me, I shall not be wearing a blazer. I will not miss, this is a more serious one, I won't miss working really hard to pass laws and then seeing the way the system isn't as nimble and proactive and visionary as I want it to be, because we work so hard to pass those laws and get that funding and enact policy, and then seeing the way the system is like, actually, we're good, we're just gonna, everything's perfect, why do we need to change? And that's been really frustrating, so that'll make me sad, or it did make me sad. I won't miss being in a space that, unfortunately, I think the structure of this body encourages groupthink, discourages us from asking critical questions and exchanging ideas across party lines to really investigate our own assumptions and try to really hear one another. I just think that the structure of this place doesn't really encourage that always. I started in the middle of a pandemic, and so I wasn't really on the floor for a while, and I remember the first time that I was on the floor, and everyone was really big, and we were all like, the people at home, and I was like, whoa, this is theater. We are talking past one another and not to one another. And so anything that the leaders of this body can do to try to create structures and incentives for us to really hear one another, I think that would be better. And the last thing that I won't miss is being in a space that often discourages us from seeing the humanity in one another. At the end of the day, this institution is healthier and more effective if we can trust one another to be our best selves. And I have found that when I have brought that energy, it has always been reciprocated. And so I wish all of us could just really trust one another, and I think that that's really hard. But that's what I won't miss that, and I plan to just be a person who hears everyone, and so that'll be good. Okay, top 5 things I will miss. My sister's taking pictures. Do I look good? Okay, cool. On that note, I will miss people feeling obligated to laugh at all of my jokes. Everyone just thinks you're so great when you're a legislator. So when I'm a normie, people will not laugh at all my jokes, and that'll be sad. I know I will lose touch with a lot of wonderful, brilliant people, and that makes me sad. I put especially Jay, but I'm definitely not going to lose touch with you. I just meant you are especially wonderful, and I will miss your running commentary on the floor, and I will miss working with you. I promised Jay that there would be a mention of Jay. So, this place creates a family, and I will miss being part of this family so much. But I do plan to maintain deep relationships, so I'm going to stay in touch. I'm going to have so much time for coffee dates, and you're all going to be like, I'm super busy. Don't you remember? And I'll be like, no, coffee. I will miss crafting bills by negotiating with many people with very different opinions and priorities and coming to a perfect solution through hard work, creative thinking, good communication. NPR once called one of my bills less glamorous but important, and that is my lane, and I love that lane, and I will miss that work. Second to last, if you're not keeping count, I'll miss being invited to really random places like oil refineries and the Boundary Waters and Muslim community centers and medical schools and Gopher games. Like, people are just like, come and we'll show you the world, and it's awesome. I feel like I know my own community and my state so much better because I've been invited to all of these spaces, and it's been a real honor and just a pleasure. And last thing I will miss is having a platform to say what I believe is right instead of begging the people who represent me to do and say what is right. That's why I ran for office, and it's been awesome to just be like, I know what I would like the person representing me to say, and oh, I am that person. And so I'll say it. And so I'm going to miss that. I plan to still be very opinionated and loud, so you'll still hear from me. And I would like to end with just some thank yous. I'd like to thank the nonpartisan research staff who pour all their brilliance and dedication into our bills, even when our bills have no immediate chance of passing, but they're our vision for like a better future. And I wrote down something that Ben Johnson said once when he was explaining something to us. He was like, as you probably already know, and he totally knew that none of us knew that. but they like lift us up and make us better and do it in a way that doesn't make us like realize that they're way smarter than us. But we do, and I appreciate them. Thank you to the House staff, whose tireless efforts behind the scenes is the true backbone of our work. Thanks to Dave, who keeps me in Kit Kats. This is my last Kit Kat. It says, last one, I will miss you. But he promised to send me Kit Kats to my office. So, but I appreciate, like this space is like grandiose, and it can feel kind of impersonal and intimidating, and having Kit Kats and a supportive staff who makes us feel like we're meant to be here is really meaningful and important. Thank you to my colleagues for your friendship, your support, your karaoke duets, the late nights. You are my family forever, and I am so grateful for this intense, life-changing experience that we all shared. Shout out to Corona class. I love you, Corona class. You are my family for literal ever. You're not getting away. I'd like to thank Melissa, who encouraged me to be a squeaky wheel, and then she didn't hold it against me when I took her advice and was really annoying. I'm usually really annoying in a way that is invisible, but she knew I was annoying, and she didn't judge me for it. Because I'm really opinionated. I asked Esther once, I was like, am I weird? And you're like, you're just kind of intense about the things you care about. So, which is very true. I'm kind of like a lot. And you guys all never judge me for that. Melissa didn't judge me for that. It was an honor to serve with Melissa, and I will forever remember her example of strong, principled leadership. I'd like to thank Larissa and Laura, who made my hair look amazing for all 3 terms. I'll make sure they see the video of that because they're not here. Lastly, I'd like to thank my family, my parents who supported and encouraged me since the beginning when I decided to run for office randomly. And thank you to Ben, this might be the part where I cry, for encouraging me to run for office in 2020 when we sat down in the living room and we were like, what more do we have to offer, like our state and our community? And we decided we had more that we could do as a team. What sacrifices were we willing to make as a team? And unlike Heather, I missed like most of the games. I missed most of the choir concerts. I missed a lot. And that was because Ben was there to make sure that the kids knew that I loved them and that we loved them. And it was a real sacrifice that we all made. And I'm really proud of our family. So yeah, these last 3 terms have been a shared commitment. Thank you. So it has been an honor of a lifetime to serve in the House of Representatives, to represent the people of New Brighton, Columbia Heights, and St. Anthony. It has been a true joy. And you all are not rid of me because I'm super opinionated. I'm totally going to show up and be like, I have compensatory revenue opinions, so beware. But just a true honor and a true joy. Thank you all so much.